A 17-year-old opened fire at a small-town Iowa high school before classes resumed on the first day after the winter break, killing a sixth grader and wounding 5 others Thursday as students barricaded in offices, ducked into classrooms, and fled in panic. The suspect, a student at the school in Perry, died of what investigators believe is a self-inflicted gunshot wound, an Iowa Division Criminal Investigation official said. Authorities said one of the 5 people wounded was an administrator, later identified by his alma mater as Perry High School principal Dan Marburger. Authorities identified the shooter as Dylan Butler, who is 17 years old, and provided no information about a possible motive.
And he's got a shooter name.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I tried to think when I was in high school, because you're under extreme emotional stress because of your body changing and your hormones and all that. And I mean, I know you might find this hard to believe, but I too was picked on in high school by older kids. Yeah, everybody gets picked on a little bit, you know, when you're in high school. I never felt bad enough about it to want to kill anybody, though. But a couple of teachers, though, a couple of adults in my life, I probably would have shot and killed if I could.
Especially in high school, yeah.
Yeah, like if I couldn't keep it together, I could see me losing it and killing an adult. But I never wanted to like shoot or kill any of the. We were fighters, though, so if you didn't like somebody, you just had to fight with them. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
But that's the thing. Now there's this whole like anti-bully, and like the kids don't have like the same structure that we did. You know what I mean? Like at recess, if you got into a fight, you could actually fight it out.
Right.
And and I think personally that was good because it taught you sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
That's a good point, Carmen, because I think that I hate bullies, but I think at times when I was younger, I probably bullied some people, not little kids, not smaller children. You know what I mean? I remember this one kid I bullied. I didn't like him because he was always hanging around my girlfriend at the time, and he was much smaller than me. I say little kid, but we were the same age and all that. And I feel like I bullied him now that I look back on it. If that guy came to school and shot me, I'd get it. I'd understand. But I would. I mean, it's horrible to do that, to take advantage. But I think that for the most part, the people we bullied, like I had this ongoing feud with this kid, and one day we fought, and that kid kicked my ass. And that was it for him. The bullying was over, you know, and it probably changed that kid's life because he went from being the victim to being the ass kicker. So, yeah, I agree with you.
And now it's like, oh, if you say something mean about someone online or anything like that, then the parents and the school gets involved. But if they don't see that and they don't get involved, then these kids that are getting picked on, I feel like this is what translates.
I remember one time in my neighborhood, there was an argument between kids, and they were chasing each other around. This guy, one of the fathers, walked out. He goes, "What's the problem? This kid did this? Yeah, you want to punch him?" All right, everybody back up, make a circle. Go ahead, fight it out. And they were like, "What?" He goes, "Go ahead, you want to fight? Fight." And they fought. It was a lame fight, and it was over. And they're like, "Are we done now?" And everybody said, "Yeah." And then they all went and played football together.
Yeah.
That's just how it went.
Or the kid slips and falls, hits his head on the concrete, and
dies.
Yeah, then everybody buries him, and nobody saw nothing.
Yeah.
Depends on where you grew up.
Will we find out that this kid was contacted by the FBI 3 or 4 months ago, like some of the other school shooters?
Oh, come on now.
What?
Well,
That's a fact. Well, I don't know.
Well, I did see where they scrubbed his TikTok. Yep. They took all that stuff down and did a lot of stuff, but people, of course, got screen grabs of different stuff. And I guess he was a trans activist.
Right.
Was a thing. And
yeah, but killing people isn't going to help anything.
I know. But
if you're a trans activist and your legacy now is you went crazy and murdered people, now people just look at the trans people, the trans community, and go, "See, I told you that they're weirdos."
Well, I would just like to know if there are some correlations between this shooter and some of the other high school shooters, like they were hearing voices telling them to do it. They were contacted by the FBI. All of a sudden, they had more money in their bank account. Nobody has any idea where it came from. Maybe it was
where is
money.
all this coming from?
You don't remember any of these facts from there was one high school shooter in particular that had all of this stuff going on. He got a brand new car from money from his grandmother, along with Daniel Defense rifles that were worth
Let's
thousands
not bring
of
Daniel
dollars.
Defense into this.
Well, wasn't that kid that South Florida kid? That
I don't remember what
name?
state he was from, but yeah, it was he was a Hispanic
Yeah,
kid.
I remember the grandmother and the money and all that
Right,
stuff.
and then he said he was contacted by the FBI. They looked into it. He was, in fact, contacted by an agent from the FBI. Why was he contacted?
Yeah.
They didn't release that information. Much like stuff that came out with the Vegas shooter. That
you need to start coming to me with some answers because you make me stay up at night thinking about these.
Yeah, well, we won't. That's the thing is you don't find any answers, but when all of a sudden all these shooters have the same story every time, where when they're caught, like if they don't have any footage of this kid, I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah.
Because
Cameras everywhere.
Yeah, and most of the kids when they get caught, they say the exact same thing.
I don't remember
What
anything.
happened? I don't remember anything I did.
Weird.
Yeah.